What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to the Life to Metal. Going to be doing a Life to Metal graphics update today. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I've got tons of stuff to show, more stuff than I could do in one video. I'm going to do this video is going to be all on the new Rocks Gem series that has been coming out all this year, 2025. So far, there's 5 in the series. They're available on CD and vinyl. And I have all 5 of them here. You can see there's the spines of all 5. And basically what these things are, they are like a demo series. So I'm looking for a place to put these down. My desk is a mess. But I'm going to start with Volume 1. So this is Gems Volume 1. Features 2 Southern California bands. And in general, all of these have one. They're all kind of underground bands, but generally side A will have a more well-known band, side B will have a lesser-known band. So in this case, it's Soldier from California on the A side and Taker on the B side. Now, Taker were kind of a classic heavy metal band, you know, kind of in the vein of, you know, Judas Priest, that kind of style. But whereas Soldier were kind of more in the vein of that California style, like Y&T sound. They were a great band. They've got several. They recorded a lot of music, actually. I think maybe 3-4 years ago, Rocks put out an anthology release from them, and there's just tons of stuff on it. But what you got here is I believe it was their last demo, 1992. For whatever reason, this band, despite being very popular, having the looks, the sound, you know, being on several very popular compilations, they never got that the big record contract. And then back then, you didn't have the, you know, you couldn't do, there was no YouTube, or there was no internet, or any of those kind of things to sell your music. So you're kind of, you know, reliant on getting that big record deal. And for whatever reason, this band just never got it. And they have a fantastic guitar player, great singer. Just, like I said, for whatever reason, never got it. But this 1992 demo kind of was a little bit of a change in their sound. Obviously, 92, by then, grunge was becoming the thing. So their look, as you can see here, right there, they kind of have that more of a 90s look. But the sound is still very much in the Soldier vein, just a little bit heavier, a little more, a little less melodic, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right word. It's just a little heavier than the other stuff, but it still sounds like Soldier. So you've got 4 songs from them, and then you got 5 songs from on the B side from Taker. And all these are pretty much the same. They all have a similar look. So they've got the, you know, the band logos, a black and white photo of the band, the song times, usually the band members, and some other liner notes down here. The covers are all similar with just this colors changing out, and obviously the name, this being Volume 1. They all have hype stickers, and they all come in a black polyline sleeves with sort of black polyline sleeves, and then it's got the custom center labels, as you can see, if I can get it out of the package here. And they all come on colored vinyl, this obviously being yellow vinyl. So basically, the vinyl matches the color of the cover. So, yeah, this was the very first one, and this one came out simultaneously with Volume 2. Both of them came out at the same time, which I have right here, and as soon as I get this back in the package, I will show you Volume 2. But this whole idea was Bill Bafford, or Bill Rocks from Rocks Records. He came up with the idea, and he came up with the idea for the cover. I did execute the cover design. I did pick the colors and, you know, do the layouts and the center labels and all that kind of stuff for all of these. But again, this, you know, it was kind of his idea. He wanted that look, which reminds me of Aerosmith Rocks, by the way, even though that had 5 gems, because being there 5 members. But still, regardless, very cool set with some great demo material, stuff you wouldn't normally get on a vinyl, which is why I like it. But like I said, they're also available on CD, and I have all the CDs sitting over here. They basically look the same, got the same layouts and stuff like that. So it's not, you know, if you're into CDs, you can get either one. But like I said, most of this stuff you're never going to find. You know, they were cassette demos released in the 80s and 90s, before there was, you know, internet and stuff like that, and YouTube and all those kind of things. All right, so Volume 2 is, let's see if I can get the sticker. Oh well, the stickers on these are I've taken. They were all in shrink wrap, and I took the shrink wrap off. I keep the stickers, but they don't generally come off of the plastic, so I just kind of throw them inside. So anyhow, there's Volume 2. 2 bands from New Mexico. Ultimatum on side A, the Moshketeers on side B. Of course, you know, I was the singer for Ultimatum for 20 years. 1992, the band was formed, through 2012 when the band disbanded. But this features the very first Ultimatum demo, Fatal Delay, and it's got a picture of the really early lineup. on here. The only thing is, we didn't have a picture of this exact lineup because shortly after this demo, bass player Greg Dingus split from the band, and we ended up getting Tom Michaels, who joined soon after. So the rest of the band members are correct in that picture, but we didn't have a photo with Greg, so that's the one we had. And the Musketeers were a power trio, and that is the correct lineup there. But this is actually their 1990 demo that was included on here. So it's got Poses of Deceit, Life of Emptiness, Ye, and Nightmares. Thrash metal on their side. A little different from the tracks that ended up on the Downward Spiral album, especially the song Ye is a little different. And then Fatal Delay, of course, was, like I said, the first Ultimatum demo, and I think one song, Fatal Delay, ended up on the Symphonic Extremities album, and it was a shortened version of it. The one on here is 9 minutes long. It's way too long. It was basically Ultimatum's first demo. I was never happy with it. I actually argued with the label about putting it out, but he's like, people like it. Other people like it. And I'm like, yeah, but I hate it. And they're like, but other people like it. So, regardless, it's a little different from what Ultimatum became known for. My vocals are a little different. The music is a little more straightforward, heavy metal, as opposed to, you know, the thrash and groove metal that we kind of were known for. I never can really consider us a groove metal band. I would just consider us a heavy metal band, and we did have a lot of thrash influences, especially in my vocal sound, but that's what we were labeled. So anyhow, Volume 2, the green version, comes on a lime green vinyl and has the sticker on there as well. Number 3 is a band most people will probably know. On the A side is Vengeance, who became known as Vengeance Rising. This was their very first demo. And on the B side is an Arizona band called Tykus. Tykus featured vocalist Randy Michaud, or you may know him from my channel if you know Trog. Anyhow, this so 1987 is the Vengeance demo. Raw, crunchy thrash metal. It's got 5 songs. White Throne, He Is God, Salvation, Human Sacrifice, and Beheaded. Early picture of the band as well. And similarly, this is Tykus with their picture of the band. And they've got Born to Die, Convince You, Warfare, and With His Love. And actually, let's see, Justin Freer, who played guitar in this band as well. Justin Freer was actually in Ultimatum for a while, and he passed away, gosh, 3-4 years ago now already. And so there's, let's see, Justin is pictured right there in the back, right below the Y in Tykus. So, again, opaque red vinyl. There are no inserts in these things. They're trying to keep them kind of budget priced, because by the time you pay the bands and you know, for their demos, pay for production and pay for art and pay for mastering, it's an expensive release. So they were trying to keep the cost out so they wouldn't have to charge $40 for these things. So most of them don't have inserts, except for the last one, which I'll show you. So anyhow, there you go. So you got thrash metal on side A with Vengeance. Side B is Tykus with just straightforward heavy metal, very much in the view of, you know, I always go Judas Priest as kind of like the archetype of pure metal, kind of in that vein. Saint is another one I would compare him to, so Armor Saint even. So Volume 4 is a teal vinyl, and it features 2 bands. Place of Skulls, which is Victor Griffin's band. Victor Griffin, of course, from the hard rock, heavy metal, doom band Pentagram. And then on the B side is a band called Sweet Cicada, which many people probably haven't heard of, but man, that Sweet Cicada album is good. I love this Volume 4. I'm a big fan of Place of Skulls. Both bands are doom metal, you know, like traditional doom as opposed to the more epic kind of doom stuff. So if you're like into, you know, St. Vitus, early Candlemass, Pentagram, those kind of things, you're probably going to like Place of Skulls and Sweet Cicada. Again, black and white photos of the band. You can read the band members. So on the Place of Skulls 2000 demos, it's Victor Griffin, Tom Salili on drums, and Lee Abney on bass. And on the side B, you got the Switch demo from 2004 with, it's got actually 3 songs were the original demo, but they added this bonus track called Embryonic Sunrise, which is kind of a play off a Black Sabbath song. It's fantastic. And it is 3 minutes and 26 seconds long. Dan Lively being the main member of that band, but again, teal vinyl, no inserts, black polyline sleeves. Again, I did all the layouts, all the artwork. Actually, on a few of these, I even was able to, you know, I worked with Randy on Randy Michaud for Volume 3 and 4 to get those done directly. Of course, I well, I sang on Volume 2, so I was directly involved in those ones. And then I was also directly involved in this one. So this is the last one that just came out, and it's just shipping now. But this is an orange vinyl. It's Gems Volume 5, featuring Sardonyx on side A. Now, Sardonyx was a band from the late 80s, early 90s out of Pennsylvania. Kind of a speed metal, power metal band of sorts. They've kind of since reconvened things after being on hiatus for a long time. They put out an album, 2 albums, I think, in the last few years. One of them's coming out in the next, gosh, I think it's going to be coming out this summer. So I've heard it; it's really good. But so you got their Rebel of Reason demo on side A, which was from 1990. It includes Scandal, Don't Chase the Rainbow, Bloodshed, and Rebel of Reason. Tom Denlinger is the vocalist of the band. There's some liner notes on there as well. And then the B-side is an Albuquerque band called Blood Justice. Now, Blood Justice features members of a bunch of different bands, but their vocalist on 4 of the 5 songs is Albert Baca. And you might know the name Albert Baca from, he was in a band called Combat Faith. Rox Records released a bunch of Combat Faith demos not that long ago. Great, straightforward heavy metal. But this is the stuff he does on here. Albert Baca, his vocals are incredible on here. I love this demo. I've had it for years, and I mean, I've had it since it came out, which was 1992. They were recording this demo around the same time Ultimatum was recording at the same studio up in, I think it was in Moriarty or something like that in New Mexico. And so I had this cassette forever. Loved it. I finally, one day, was talking to Rob Caldwell from Bombwork Sound, and I'm like, hey, I got this awesome tape by this band called Blood Justice. I said, can you get this off the tape before the tape goes bad, because cassettes go bad over years, and so he had the music for me. So I've had this like CD version of it for, gosh, 5-6 years now. And when Bill Bafford from Rox was like, we need to start doing these, and I was like, oh, we got to release that Blood Justice. Got a hold of the band. They were excited to main member from the band, I believe, is drummer Brian Bullet Tremblay. He was the guy I was dealing with, and they were excited that they thought the music was lost. They had no idea. They hadn't heard it in years. They didn't even know where it was. But anyhow, it's got the 4-song demo, which I've had. Like I said, I've had that for years. Our God Reigns, Worthy, On Fire, and Second Wind. But then it's also got a bonus track called Lamb of God, which is a song the band recorded after. I don't know if Albert wasn't in the band anymore. I'm not sure what happened. But they had, what's his name? Gregory Anaya. Greg Anaya, who come to sing. Gregory Anaya sang in Seventh Sign, an Albuquerque band, but then he went on and moved out to California and started working with other bands. He was actually the background singer on a bunch of Rob Halford and Bruce Dickinson's solos albums. He was also in a band called Tribe of Gypsies. But anyhow, he sang on that last song, and that song they recorded and entered it into an awards thing, and they ended up winning an award for it. But that one is called Lamb of Sacrifice. Like I said, really cool stuff. Both sides on this are great. Straightforward power metal, heavy metal, whatever you want to call it. Sardonyx pushing towards speed metal at times on this particular demo. But yeah, that's the... oh, and then let me show you this too. I get a little excited and start talking fast, if you hadn't noticed. So none of these have inserts except for this one. First of all, here's the... I mean, I might as well show you the orange vinyl. These are supposed to come in black polyline sleeves. Mine came in a black sleeve, but it wasn't polyline, so I tossed that out and put it in a polyline sleeve. Hopefully the rest of them are polyline because they were supposed to be. Every once in a while, non-polyline one slips through. But this one features a little bio, a little black and white bio in the band. Again, it's got the photo on there on Blood Justice, written up by the band. It's also got the original Heaven's Metal review of the band, which they raved at how great this demo was. And then the other side has Sardonyx, and it's got the actual lyrics to the songs, which is one of the things that Tom was really concerned. He wanted people to be able to he wanted to be able to read the lyrics. So originally we agreed to just put the on the bottom down here, we put the lightshine.com or whatever it is .org website so they could go to the website and read it. But then we decided to do that black and white insert just as a way to appease the band and just give it something special. So, like I said, I did all the layout, all the design. I'm also the one who actually, got with the band. So I was very involved with the last 4 of these, much more than just doing layout and design. But yeah, I'm really happy with how these came out, and I hope this series continues. I really enjoy listening to them. If you're into, you know, underground demo kind of stuff, these are really cool to listen to. And as you can see, like I said, their spines and the tops kind of all line up, and you can kind of see the different colors. My dilemma with these is, since there's 2 bands on each side, okay, so the Sardonyx one, do I put it with my Sardonyx vinyl, or do I put it by itself, or do I put it with compilations? Or I'm just not sure what to do with these, because there's 2 different bands on each one, and I kind of want to keep them together. I mean, I could put Soldier with Soldier, and Ultimatum with Ultimatum, Vengeance with Vengeance, Place of Skulls with Place of Skulls, because I do have other vinyl by all these bands, but then it just breaks up the collection. I don't know. What do you think? Should I put them? What would you do in your collection? Would you keep all these together, or would you split them up and put them with the band names? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Anyhow, that's it for this No Life to Metal update. Appreciate y'all watching. Let me know what you think of these, and if you're interested in buying any of them, it's roxrecords.com. They're not super expensive, but it's only 200 pressed, and they're selling quite well, so they won't be around forever. So if you're interested, check it out and get them right away. That's it. Thanks for watching. God bless. Stay strong.